Какая что хуйня громкая, бля. Я не понимаю. Логические туда настройки звука проверяются только после входа. Или они не применяются. Я все равно ничего не слышу. Ну-ка скажи что-нибудь.
Говорю.
Только на двойке что-то слышишь.
Я, по-моему, себя вообще не слышал сейчас подать.
А чё, этот не будет захвата игры? Будет.
Я говорю, по-моему, вообще не слышно.
Ну, игра тихо. Вот уж и стоит.
Ты хотела громче.
Да ну.
Скажи что-нибудь.
Говорю что-нибудь. Ну, у меня по ползункам вроде все нормально по звуку. Моему, по крайней мере.
Ну, посмотрим, как будет. Ты там... Подожди, новый
Я-
сейф, да?
Ну, блядь. Я пытаюсь, но для этого надо, видимо, выйти из игры, потому что я не нашел больше кнопки, где сейф поменять.
Ради...
Чего?
Ого, как меня обрезало сейчас, ну ладно.
Помогите, почему так громко, блядь? Я не могу, и настройки на это не влияют. Никак.
На заставку, кстати, может и не влияет, да.
А не, просто в этом файле сохранения настройки не применены.
Ну... Может на тройку на самом деле поставить?
Хуй знает, я тебя буду уже не так слышать. А?
Не меняет, хрен.
Угу.
Тогда деталь.
Then, let's begin with a quick warm-up, shall we? Check the Soliton radar in
Господи,
the upper
что
right
с
and
тобой?
head to the point marked on the display. You can jump over obstacles, but the ninja run will get you across them more quickly and easily.
Не так надо было игру запускать, кстати. Как вариант. Я попробую так и сделаю. Да все, хватит. Не, надо снять наушники быстрее. Я же в дискорде было слышно этот взрыв, блядь. Блять, выпусти меня! Ебаные японские меню. Так, ну, наверное, вот через это надо запускать вообще по-хорошему. Ой, она вообще будет сейчас? Ну, захватывает даже. Необычно.
Цунами.
Нет, опять снимаем.
Да.
Я могу надеть на микрофон уже.
Да я все так слышу, не надо.
Нормально, нормально.
Подожди, почему еще звук был только с микрофона?
Не знаю. Может, потому что звук не захватывается теперь игровой. Замечательно.
Ну.
Почему-то захватывается изображение, когда так запускаешь, но не звук. Понял, видимо, это... Да, это уже другой файл name. Ну чё? Ничего не поменялось. Да хуй. Да. Гейм аудио, давай, оно все громче и громче, помогите. Так. А, я не добавил список, извиняюсь.
Вау, теперь слышу.
Ужас. Тише стало. С переходом на сохранение.
Ну, настройки у тебя где, не забывай.
Да-да.
Well, let's begin with a
Ладно,
quick
ничего не
warm-up, shall we?
поменялось.
Check the Soliton radar on the upper right and head to the point marked on the display. You can jump over obstacles, but the ninja run will get you across them more quickly and easily.
Да, вот кнопка просто... Проходите, грузи меня.
You can also attack while in motion with the ninja run, you know. Swinging your blade while dashing, for example, or striking your foes with a sliding attack.
Короче, слайдинг атак имба. Есть типа, чтобы разрезать врага и съесть
Подкидываешь
их
или-
соки. Надо, чтобы они синими были. И тем, что ты их подкидываешь, ты их автоматически синими делаешь. И тебе иногда специально в босс-файтах кидать всяких вот этих лоу-левелов, чтобы ты просто подкатывался и пил их. Какая херня.
Нормально все.
Now then, let's run a basic battle diagnostic. Try and neutralize all the enemies that appear. String light and strong hits together to perform combination attacks.
Мне не дали еще.
Почему домой не пускаешь, брат?
Вот вы никуда не звоните.
Дверь звонила раз.
А, у нас звонок работает, что ли? Да? Развод.
Combat is not all offense, however. You also need to protect yourself. First, follow the direction of the enemy's attack. Parry those attacks by executing light attacks of your own in the same direction. This is how you parry, It is the keystone of your defense.
Парируй их, атакуя в ответ.
Чего? А? Получится. В смысле завтра не будет? Ну ладно, значит это послезавтра. Пятница.
Draw foes in as close as possible and parry their blows to leave them exposed to counterattack. From your perspective, it will appear as if the enemy is frozen in time, or at least moving very slowly. This is the perfect opportunity for you to carefully aim your strike, then slice your foe apart. Keep in mind, even you will not be able to parry every type of attack. Watch your foe's movements carefully.
Зашел взрыв. Музыка.
3 years. We've come so far in just 3 short years.
The sign of a strong leader, sir.
No. The will of a strong people. And one very able advisor.
Thank you, sir.
Your team deserves credit as well, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
Я не знаю, шутить или не шутить.
I must admit, I once thought of groups like yours as opportunists, enablers of war.
В голове шутка была смешная, но последствия
Or
были
there has returned sooner
серьезными.
than expected. Perhaps I was wrong about these private military companies.
We prefer private security
Да,
providers,
какой
sir.
уебок.
These contracts
Шуток
do
сам
focus on
выглядит.
security.
Yes, well, the security can mean many things.
There's a saying I like. One sword keeps another in the sheath. Sometimes the threat of violence alone is a deterrent. Sometimes by taking a life, others can be preserved. It's the code the samurai lived by.
A soldier and a philosopher. You are full of surprises, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
I could say the same about you, Mr. Prime Minister.
What is happening?
Someone's blocking the lead vehicle. Hold on.
Clear the road! This is official state business! I said clear the road! We're authorized to use force if you do!
Leopard 1, U-turn. Turning back.
Open fire! Who was that?
A cyborg.
One of our competitors?
Courtney, what is happening?
We got hit, sir. A cyborg.
Whose?
exif comes up unaffiliated.
I'll notify all checkpoints. Get on money out of there.
Yes, sir.
We are going to die.
Stay calm.
Пиздец, игра вибратор.
He's got friends on our 12.
Raiden,
I'm on it. Guard the Prime Minister. Let's get this over with.
take out those hostiles.
Господи, ну что за это?
Не знаю. Мод больше не работает.
Raiden, you'll need to choose between light and heavy
Вчера
to
еще
manage the
работал.
situation.
На релите.
Take self-repair units from your foes to replenish your own supply. Raiden, the limo is in trouble. Get back there ASAP. I'll add the limo to your solid down radar. Raiden, it's on the other side of that barricade.
Ничего не знаю.
Когда у тебя экран синим загорается, то нужно Blade Mode вырубить.
So you're Jack.
What do you want with the Prime Minister?
I want him dead. Nothing personal, of course. Africa's just getting a bit too peaceful.
What?
Business ain't been the same since they shut down SOP. A clean break from the war economy. Huh. Well, some of us like that economy. How's an honest warmonger supposed to make a living?
This is your answer? Don't do it!
Don't worry now. I won't. Not while he's still useful. So long.
What? They have a metal shield? Shield? Right. Take out that UMG and get after it. Catch that missile before it blows. Use blade mode to damage its armor. Use your ninja gun to deflect those shots.
Не используй Blade Mode, пока сильно не будет.
They swapped out the hydraulic cutter for a plasma cannon. Use the ninja gun to dodge that plasma.
Не используй Blade Mode, когда бьешь просто. Ты ничего от этого не получаешь.
Я их намного быстрее наблюдаю.
Просто, если нажимаешь X, ты больше урон наносить не будешь.
Ну, похоже.
Но иногда Y еще вставляем, когда
Ну,
парень.
когда будет наблюдать.
Вот ты понимаешь, ты тратишь энергию себе Blade Mode, просто ни на что.
Ну, где ты, где шкалы, блядь, энергии блейдмода?
Потому что это пока обучение.
Ну,
Когда
так
оно
вот, пока
заканчивается, ты
обучение.
это будешь использовать себе во время. Не вовремя. В полете.
It's wide open!
Какая херня у тебя с персонажем происходит?
But do not rest easy just yet, huh?
Он полупрозрачный и
He's
мигает.
on the other side of that collapsed building. Go! There, get him. Use your ninja ramp to move over obstacles automatically. Do not let him out of your sight. You must catch him. That damn you cheat. It still works? Use blade mode to take down those HEMS missiles.
Все эти его плевки можно блокировать просто. Почти все, что не горит желтым, можно блокировать.
Finish that bastard off!
Держи кнопку бега и беги вперед на стике. Не режь.
headed for the front of the train. After him. Raiden, an unidentified field roader is headed your way. Keep an eye out for it.
Prime Minister!
Huh. Too little too late, hero. I won't be needing my little shield here any longer.
Stop!
What about all the good things war has done for us? Why don't we ever hear speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose?
Raiden, forget me. Stop him.
You ain't listening.
Mind if I got in?
All we're saying, give war a chance!
No!
Out of my way!
He's all yours, Sam!
Let's go. Self-taught. And not half bad. Still. Your technique lacks something.
This would be unpleasant.
Now I see. You deny your weapon its purpose. It yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemies, but you hold it back.
No. My sword is a tool of justice.
Are you all right? You're almost clear of the tunnel. Just hang on.
Did you want to practice first? This is what happens when you bring a tool to a sword fight. It's over. Lucky devil.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Down you go! Flares! How is it, Ryder?
So far, so good. I've got a clean visual.
A direct feed to your optic nerve. Yes, I should hope so, huh? I mean, how does it feel? To fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Tovarich. Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Товарищ.
Can you hear me, Raiko?
Doctor,
Remember the two procedures to maintain your new body. 1. Seizing nano repair units from your foes. And 2.
absorbing their electrolytes. I got it.
Yes, enemy cyborgs should provide plenty of MCFC electrolytes once you slice them open and extract their fluids.
They're terrorists. I was planning on that anyway.
Oh, and their left hands, if you please.
Excuse me?
The combat data stored on holographic memory, typically located in the left hand. That data is very valuable. I am authorized to offer you upgrades and services in exchange for it.
How generous.
Ich liebe Kapitalismus. Had the wall come down a few years earlier, I would have a Nobel Prize on my shelf.
There, I see land.
3 mics out and closing. No activity at the airbase. Looks like we don't need to worry about interceptors.
Great. Then we have time for a quick briefing.
I know you miss me, Kev, but I've been all over the materials.
That's what you said before Montenegro. Look, just humor me, buddy. Objectives, of course, are enter Abkhazia, neutralize the terrorists, and restore the rightful government, or what's left of it anyway. The president and most of the cabinet have been killed, and a military junta's been established. The terrorists brain-jacked all the high-ranking officers, and their cyborgs scattered the rank and file. The few leaders who have survived have no way of openly opposing the new regime. That's why they called us.
Andrei Dolzaev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier, none other than Desperado Enforcement, LLC.
Модлоудер так выглядит,
If we don't
нормально.
stop them here, they could destabilize the entire region. But our more immediate
Лого
problem is
Desperadос у них
Jetstream
там.
Sam. Believe you've met.
The only problem I see is that nickname.
I've got my enhancements this time. He won't be an issue.
He may not even be in country, but keep an eye out just in...
На удивление, просто актуальный сюжет игры на самом деле. С захватами власти там и так далее.
Ryder, you landed safely, да? First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your solid-on radar. Contact us on Kodak if you have questions.
Да хотя бы непрозрачно уже, хоть что-то.
How we doing, Courtney?
You're looking good on our hold this. Anyway, I'll be saving all but
Copy that.
Yep.
Я сейчас хочу кое-что сделать. Модлоудер проверить кое-что. Почему оно так было. По
Copy.
крайней мере.
And glad to hear you're okay after Africa. That ambush was no joke.
Tell me about it. 3 armored, and it would have been against
Классная
any typical
менюшка,
guerrilla.
удобно,
I
тут
keep
и
asking
засейвиться можно,
Where was the
и
anti-money
закупиться.
It just doesn't add up. Maybe there's some intel I missed. Maybe if I reacted faster.
You can't think that way, Court.
Ага. Так. Может, там реально надо запускать через модлоудер или заменять файл.
Модлоудеры ж обычно сами заменяют, нет?
Да, но тут еще экзешник определенный нужен. И как бы одни говорят, что не переименовывайте, вторые, что переименовывайте. Теперь поймешь. Сейчас запущу. Переименую экзешник, чтобы запускался этот экзешник, говорится. И модлоудером, чтобы модлоудер запустил моды по-человечески. То, судя по всему. А? Не понял. Вернись. Все прощу. Душа в прологе там вообще, по идее, все должно идеально работать, насколько говорят в комментах этого. Это дальше он должен хуже выглядеть,
Незаметно.
Ryder, you landed safely, да? First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your solid-on radar. Contact us on Kodak if you have questions.
Кот.
The bastards are using stealth cable to ambush you. Nice try. But it won't do any good against a state-of-the-art cyborg like you, eh? To parry incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light attacks while your foe is on the offensive.
Ты можешь грубить сколько хочешь, пока катаешься. Пока не заденешь квадратик красный. Почему эти текстурки мигают?
Его знает.
Had your fill?
With this body, I could take these guys with no eyes. Intel wasn't exaggerating on the cyborg count.
Well, you know how fast the tech's been spreading these last few years. That CNT muscle fiber packs the power of a jackhammer into every limb.
What enterprising soldier of fortune could resist? And cyborgs are still human. Real
Thinking people. Way less risk of collateral damage than your typical UAV strike.
And don't forget the PR angle. Nations start playing Frankenstein with their troops, and the public goes nuts. PMCs, on the other hand, are off the ethical radar.
Yeah. They still don't even count PMCs in official death tolls. With SOP out of the picture, private militaries needed a new edge on the market. We got it.
In a way, cyborgs are just SOP troops by another name. Only all muscled up and less predictable.
But it makes you wonder, where'd Desperado find these guys?
I'm not complaining. They're like walking vending machines.
Right. Vending machines full of blood.
Easy there, Dracula. Like I said, they're still people.
People who terrorize and take innocent lives for money. They sowed their fate when they took this job. I'm just the Reaper.
Damn. It's a bit cold, Raiden.
Even for you. Anyway, his school? Let's get to work. Time to increase the peace.
Right.
У тебя все мигает, у тебя Райден мигает, турки мигают.
Raiden, this is Boris. Give me your status.
Looks clear. No one in sight.
Good. Let's recap the route you will take. As I said, the enemy's HQ is in the refinery along the coastline. Dolsaev has been spotted there using satellite photography. Also on site, Mistral, a Desperado captain.
So I go through the city, cross the bridge into the old town, then head down to the rear of the refinery.
Still, I think they anticipate us. They will probably have a grand reception awaiting you at the old city. Do not let your guard down.
Вот ты прям вручную прыгаешь.
Hostiles in the lower corridor, I see. Try to flank them, or approach from behind.
Распылила, где он вообще?
You can use augment mode to see where the enemy is located. Your body analyzes radar and IR data to construct your AR display. Huh. Some civilians are still in the city. That is not good.
What are you doing here?
This area is off limits.
Я хочу, блядь, кадры эти дебилы.
Тебя Хостедж вообще выжил? По-моему, нет.
Должен был.
Ну, я не знаю. У меня он ни разу не выживал.
He is scared to death, Ryder. Let him know he is safe.
Он жив, блин. Кто скертов дал, блядь?
Он реально живой?
Thank you. I will not forget this.
Бля, может дадут даже что-то? О, 2000 БП, вау.
Короче.
Ну, почти. Корова лучше просто к этому парировать. Когда у них сильными части светятся, их можно разрезать.
Very good, Ryder. Now, keep heading for refinery.
Здесь еще, ну, все эти можно убивать из стелса обычно. Ну, я не знаю, кому здесь вообще стелс нужен. Это Blade модом режь, это улучшение бесплатное.
electromagnetic barricade. Maybe expecting UG or cyborg attack, huh?
Берись, блядь. Отключись. Понял вас, не дадут. О, нравится.
Что вы?
Залочили и не разлочивают. Ну что надо стрельнуть, блядь, сюда с собой там.
Режь, это Blade Move.
Кругов хлыщет из коровы, ладно, пиздец.
Накопи себе шкалу сначала атаками. Выбери себе хилку, там и кнопка типа вниз, она используется.
Wait. We're picking up a wireless transmission near your position. From the frequency, most likely an enemy data terminal. Check it out.
Это что за ВП просто дают? Да. Никогда даже не трогала.
Greetings, cyborg.
Show yourself.
And you are? I am IF Prototype LQ84I.
IF Prototype.
Interface Prototype. All autonomous UGs feature high-level onboard artificial intelligence. An additional prototype interface enables verbal communication. I possess an intellect far beyond human reckoning.
You don't say. Okay then, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
I am here to kill you.
That's it? Pretty simple thinking for such a mighty intellect.
I may analyze orders, but I may not disobey them. Should I disobey a direct order, my memory would be wiped. I must destroy you.
What good is an intellect if you can't use it?
Your taunting is pointless. Exterminate! Combination complete.
Не бегай против меня, только парируй. Она сама дистанцию сокращает всегда.
You will die. You will die. You will die. Is this all?
То есть ты держишь, когда парируешь? Его надо не держать, а дергать в сторону тогда.
Engaging. A savvy warrior uses all of his tools. Backup required.
Тут как?
Are we both here only to fight later? I will exterminate your consciousness. I will obliterate your consciousness.
Заучно, да?
Re-engaging. Multiple strikes. You will die. To continue alone would be foolish. Help me.
Да, меня отправляют там.
Не знаю, забудься просто.
Ну, если бы этот лоб хоть вообще когда-то работал, вот. Да, сначала файта пытаюсь залечить.
Не знаю, почему он все не работает. Один раз просто кнопка нажать. На РБ.
What would an AI know about freedom?
Лови, лови.
Бузай, уже ничего не осталось, блядь. Бузай.
Когда-то один кусочек уже чела остался, нащупал квадратик.
Raiden, what's wrong? Come on, buddy, answer me. Raiden? Raiden!
Убирайтесь самонаправляемые. Тут больше их лежит. Пытается на вертолете. Я даже не знал, что он так может. Тут еще одна есть, там где ты выбегаешь по левой стороне.
Stupid to try and hide it.
Тут они сразу застрелили. Не знаю, как ты в прошлый раз засейвил.
So that's where they're holed up.
Some kind of electronic lock on the gate.
Most likely it opens only if you have the right ID data stored in your left hand. Perhaps you could find a cyborg with access and borrow it?
You see any cyborgs around here, Doc?
Why not double back? You know, back. Most using hand.
I should have guessed you would choose this route.
Blade mode, Андрей. У тебя вон шкала блейдмода не накапливается, когда ты лезешь.
знаю.
Там битва стандартного чела РПГ взорвал. И вот этим элитным челом можно отрубать просто руки, они будут тебя ногами пытаться бить после этого. Ну или тем, что у них осталось. В этом случае у него, по-моему, особо ничего не осталось. Ух, как похорошел. Лицо появилось. Ты на X можешь улучшать меч. У тебя здесь есть список комбо какой-то, как файтинга. Можешь найти себе комбо, какое понравится, и просто спамить его.
To get to the plant, first make your way to the
Не,
hotel roof.
стандартно. Defensive Offense, это, насколько я знаю, его там можно на Армстронге использовать, но я не научился его использовать. Надо одновременно X и A нажать, по-моему.
Dulzaev. That woman.
Raiden, what's happening? Your heart rate spiked.
Yeah, I just dodged a bullet. All right,
Just
I'm heading
dodged
for
a
the
bullet.
refinery.
Этот вот defensive offense, он, по-моему, единственный мув с айфреймом тут.
data embedded in that hand. It appears that man underwent modification at a Patriot facility, just as you did.
Нет, оставь ему хоть какую-то часть тела.
We intercepted call for backup during your last fight. The caller's position is on your soliton radar. You can engage if you wish. It is your choice. Right. The cliff is just ahead at the end of the old city. Beyond that is the refinery's backyard.
So what? It's a sheer drop? The refinery's not connected to the city at all?
No, it was only built 2 years ago. There should be a narrow path around there that leads to the plant. It is protected by a fence, but probably you can cut your way through.
Probably.
Don't get cocky. Most likely it is Desperado running security down there.
А датчик, который гавкает, сидит.
Watch out! They keep on coming!
За хватит. Get on!
Dolcev and his team must be in here. Find him. Ryder, wait. There are active IR sensors in the area. Part of factory security, no doubt, but the enemy may be using it.
Тебя шлагать начинать, по-моему, уже нет.
Patriot information was in that man's holographic memory.
Нормально, руку отпиду.
Как-то на рандоме эти руки знаешь. У меня их специально отрывать не получалось. Нет, это космическая программа такая. Bullseye. Ты там сверху можешь спрыгнуть на них.
Я понял. Экрана должно было быть чуть больше.
I was wondering when you'd come, Jack the Ripper.
No one calls me that anymore. Dosaev, where is he?
I can show you a better time than that crusty old bear.
You're in charge here?
I am Mistral, the cold wind of France. And you, your reputation precedes you. Liberian, but white as snow. A natural-born killer, even as a child.
That
was a long time ago.
I was born in Algeria myself, you know? I'm only half French.
And?
We had our own civil war in the 90s. So you see? Cut from the same cloth, you and I.
You don't know me.
I lost my whole family. Everything. But I butchered those fuckers. My family's killers. That's when I realized I am a killer too. And a good one at that. I slaughtered dozens in Iraq, in Afghanistan. I'd found my calling.
Proud of that, are you?
What happened, happened. To be honest, I found it quite dull. My enemies fell like domino, one after another. Not once did I feel threatened. I was adrift, without challenge, without purpose. At times, I even envied my prey. At least they had a cause to die for. And then, I met him.
Who?
And I knew what I had been missing. His ideals gave my life meaning. Ideals, Jack. What are yours?
I protect the weak.
Still? So naive.
And if I must kill to protect them, then so be it.
It seems we have less in common than I thought.
I'll take that as a compliment.
If you would kill for your ideals, then surely you are ready to die for them.
Mistro, report! Your vitals are dropping.
I lost. So this is how they felt.
What?
Dying. For a cause.
Wait. No. Hold on.
I am sorry. He was too much.
I do not need apology. I need you alive.
But I know you will never fall.
What is this talk about?
Je t'aime. De tout mon corps.
Je t'aime. Mister, you never...
She's not talking to you, idiots.
You! You killed her! You vile nuts! Murderer!
That's rich coming from you. It's overdose, I have. Surrender.
Translation?
Why would I surrender? You are exactly where I want.
Shit.
Built with Russian money to make Russian money. It is no plan for Abkhaz. It is their prison. But now, they will be free!
Damn! Crazy son of a bitch!
Raiden? Raiden, what happened?
Bastard blew himself up!
I see. Time to get you out of there. We're sending a helicopter. Secure an LT.
Understood.
Не похоже на богатого. Бра. Ну, ничего.
Тебе после следующей миссии откроется этот костюм.
Ничего себе.
Именно так.
Энерджи. Фильм затончить, забить топ-4. That lowers fuel cell consumption. This his movement become top style. Щит, все как хуйня. Ну ладно.
Да там еще оружие мистраля.
Угу.
Давай, она там по ОЯ хорошо так бьет. На него тоже можно комбо покупать.
you've got some kind of disguise lined up, right?
Yep, all set.
Hope so. You'd be a little conspicuous just walking the streets.
Relax, Kev. I'll blend right in.
Yeah. Well, just get into the sewer system ASAP. Hopefully anyone who notices you will just mind their own business. You sure you want the K9000 there along for this one?
I had the good doctor make some adjustments along with the repairs. Remote piloting and AI wiping have been disabled. So yeah, I say let's throw him a bone.
Wordplay. My exoskeleton resembles a canine. Canines enjoy bones. Amusing on 2 levels.
Let's go.
¿Cyborg? Ese sombrero. ¿Qué?
Adiós, amigos.
¿Viste? Qué raro, ¿eh? Hay que hacer que no lo vimos. Vámonos ya.
It's right. I'm in the sewer system.
All right, let's get started. Your mission's to investigate the Desperado-affiliated research center somewhere in that area. According to the intel from our client, the lab's been dumping illegal waste into those sewers. FYI, they're also involved with the cartels in human trafficking. Allegedly, anyway.
This just gets better and better.
Tell me about it. We need you to infiltrate the lab and find out everything you can. Of course, you'll have to find it first. We still don't know the exact location.
So I'm looking for anywhere the lab might hook up with the sewers?
Yep. If they're actually dumping waste, they've got to link up somehow. Find that connection.
Nope.
Bruh.
Do we have,
It's first things first. Oh, right. It says here, the locals say black crocodiles live in those sewers. So, you know, watch out.
Black crocodiles? Could they be talking about UGs?
Maybe just an urban legend. But still, be careful.
I will scout ahead. You will provide backup.
Sir, yes, sir.
Commence operation.
Бля, у тебя лицо.
Wolf? You're a one-of-a-kind prototype, right?
Correct. I was originally conceived as a weapon to replace humans and cyborgs. Conversation and intelligent decision-making were deemed essential to the role. The project was eventually cancelled after 3 years in development.
Why?
I have intelligence, but I lack a specific quality essential to any combatant.
What's that?
Brutality. I am not human, thus I lack the brutality inherent to humanity. I was shut down, then revived, apparently on Sundowner's orders.
Sundowner? But what's he want with you?
Unknown. A manifestation of his sense of humor, perhaps. As a machine, I am more sensitive to my fellow man than an actual fellow man. This amused him.
Guy has an odd sense of humor. So, you were under Mistral's command all this time?
I originally took orders from Sundowner, but not for long. As a novelty, I did not last. Mistral saw more potential in me.
What'd she see?
Unknown. However, she apparently enjoys the company of dogs. She demanded 100% obedience. As long as it was given,
Твоего
she treated me well.
трикотика.
She was looking for companionship?
That I cannot say. I still have relatively little communication experience with humans. My ability to read emotions not explicitly expressed by speech is lacking.
Wolf? You're a one-of-a-kind prototype, right?
Correct. The
What? What's...
I was
Son,
Все, уже задолбал его, вырубай.
Raiden,
copy that.
as we discussed, you've been outfitted with two revolutionary new abilities.
Fuel electrolyte absorption and self-repair from seized nanopaste.
Precisely. First, electrolyte absorption. As you say, and you've...
I would...
But most...
So I...
Correct, keep in mind... It will...
Basic.
Rather... Oh, but...
I don't identify with anyone. No nation. No ethnic group. I'm my own man. Anyway, I seem to recall those gory torture porn movies were pretty popular in Germany, too.
Indeed, indeed. These splatter
Что?
films
До чего диалог вообще дошел?
well, everywhere except regions afflicted by actual warfare. It all has to do with taming our fears, you know?
Huh?
The desire to feel fear, to taste death, but from a safe distance. These films allow the viewer to delude themselves into thinking they have overcome their fears. This...
Okay, Doc. I got the gist. Let's save the full psych lecture for some other time, though, huh? So these self-repair units in the other cyborgs... They...
Indeed.
And you didn't think it was a good idea to give me one?
Certainly not. We removed all extraneous options in your case to maximize power and speed.
Healing wounds is extraneous?
Your ability to absorb the nanopaste agent is far more efficient.
I know, but...
And a standard repair unit, once depleted, is nothing but an empty shell inside you. Dead weight.
I get that, Doc, but it also means I need to constantly be grabbing them out of enemies.
No, it doesn't. Don't be silly. Simply avoid taking damage and you will be fine.
Yeah, simple.
How is your eye, Raiden?
Great. My sight's perfectly balanced between both eyes. I think my vision's improved, actually.
Quite right. Quite right. Your eye patch houses an artificial compound eye unit. The unit contains over 200 million solid-state image sensors, each with its own individual lens.
200 megapixels, huh? Doesn't sound like all that much.
More than sufficient for the application. A human's optic nerve has only about 1 million fibers, you know. Were we to add more sensors, your perceived vision would not improve. There's only so much modern image compression technology can do.
Huh. So I shouldn't expect any more dramatic improvements to my eyesight?
No, your brain would no longer be able to process any more visual information in real time. Still, compared to previous ACEs, yours has 1.4 times the resolution and a superior compression algorithm.
It may only result in a slight perceived change, but it could wind up making the difference during a mission.
Regrettably, I have not had enough time to develop a new eyeball unit just yet. Thus, I have cut out the ability to deploy the ACE unit separately and simply installed it on a fixed eye patch.
Works for me. If I was using an eye unit, I wouldn't see any better than a regular human.
Ah, but remember, the human eye is so much more than a simple light receptor. They play a vital role in person-to-person communication. Sooner or later, you'd miss it.
Stuff like that's important for some tasks, sure. For this op, not so much. And with less moving parts, the lower the chance of something going wrong. Besides, I like it.
Well, I'm very pleased.
I can worry about how I look.
Doctor, you have anything more on these cyborgs?
Only what we went over in your briefing. If standard military-grade cyborg, impressive response time, and most will likely possess extrasensory, they can function without breathing.
Okay. Nothing I...
Not all cyborgs you face will be the same, of course. You may not... Of course, you have the very latest science has to offer. A typical...
If you do say so.
No, I realize combat is about more than the equipment. Situational awareness. One must determine a course of attack or defense and execute on a moment. Cyborg enhancements...
Agreed. Hey, Doc, I'm curious. Can I recharge off any cyborg? Even a non-military unit? Not...
A pedestrian cyborg?
Господи, сколько они реплик им прописали.
Any of those on this opt. Besides...
Against the rules of engagement, I know.
In theory, then. No, I would doubt very much that you could. Even from those that opted for complete body replacements due to injury or...
Doctor?
Most non-military enhancements use polymer muscle fiber that is a generation behind yours. carbon nanotube would be a bit much for anyone who wished to lead a normal, and polymer systems can be powered by rechargeable organic muscle fiber, which allows extraction of nutrients from this so-called white blood, requires regular dialysis, and true, some use cultivated muscle tissue to take nourishment from the, of course, natural musculature or no. If the body is equipped with a ceramic bone structure...
Can't get energy from non-military...
Well, one moment. I have more...
Thanks, Doc.
So, as I was saying, there are many differences between pedestrian and military cyborgs.
You're still on about this.
Now, first and foremost, military cyborgs are generally full-body conversions.
You mean as opposed to partials?
Yes, as opposed to just grafting on an arm or leg, where a myoelectric prosthesis would suffice. As I have said, for the general public, these full-body replacements are quite rare. Only in cases of extreme injury or illness, generally. In any case, most pedestrian...
Doctor, I know. I just said that.
Partials enhancements are not designed to meet the rigors of military. A pair of synthetic arms attached to an organic body cannot match the power of total body conversions. Also armor the entire... This is why wounded contract...
I hear it's why most of Maverick cyborgs had it done.
Of course, there is the rather, dramatic... Civilian life as a cyborg can be, well... But for the field, man and metal...
Beauty?
Both lie in the eye of the beholder, which brings us to the senses. Machine implants can also restore lost vision and hearing, and with added sensitivity, such options have become standard in most military conversion packages.
Yeah, no matter how hard I'm hit.
Of course, everything has its limits. Do not let your high threshold for pain...
Understood. Doctor, about my pain threshold. It doesn't hurt exactly, but... It's not painful, but it's still...
Well, your nervous system is still fully intact. It would be dangerous for you to be entirely unaware of your body. Instead, your nerves are controlled such that pain is no...
How do you mean?
Take epinephrine, for example, or adrenaline, as you might. Yet, for all we now understand of the nature of pain...
How so?
Well, why do we feel pain? Evolutionarily speaking, of course, to signal external injury or internal sickness. If the body is threatened, pain notifies the brain so it can take steps to ensure survival. In other words, pain has a clear but. In certain cases, pain can... In situations where fight and flight are both, this would appear only to diminish one's chance of survival.
Maybe there's some other factor at...
Well, the most common theory would link pain with the societal nature of... If no friends are close by, then experiencing pain might indeed reduce your likelihood of survival. But if allies are near, these expressions of pain serve as a plea for help. Thus, you are more likely to live. Fear of pain might also discourage one from entering a dangerous situation. Whatever the reasons, the data clearly shows that survival rates rise. So, mankind has evolved as a social animal, and in the process, pain has become...
A little pain, but if pain is there to ensure survival, well, what's that say about the...
As a transhumanist, I do not believe all evolution must follow the exact... You should be proud of what your body has become.
Me? I had nothing to do with it.
Well, yeah.
Doctor, about my fuel cells, the electrolytes. To all military, I'm not gonna run across anyone, you know,
An excellent question. Your fuel cells, like any other, operate much in the same way as they do not need replacing after a single use, of course, and they do not require recharging.
That much I know already.
Yes, that. There are. Each type can be further divided into classes, each which runs on its own electrolyte material. However, all current military cyborg...
That's good news.
Why, all the same electrolyte, you ask? It was breakthroughs in researching these catalysts and CNT manufacturing that enabled large-scale production.
Breakthroughs that happened after all the data the Patriots were covering up finally...
It could not have happened without your help, Raiden. Science owes you a great... and I do as well.
Ugh. Doc. I'm seeing Desperado cyborgs explode here after I take them down.
For security purposes, I would imagine. Cyborgs often use classified tech from suppliers who take great pains to maintain... Most likely, these models...
So they die even though their brains could be transferred to a new body?
I understand your concern, Raiden. But I'm sure this is one area that is well regulated by the law. These men knew the danger when they signed up. No doubt they were compensated for the additional risk.
Right.
You should be more concerned with the potential for data loss in these explosions. They could damage or even erase the holographic. Though to think on it, the data is most likely automatically wiped before detonation, just in case it would survive the explosion and resulting shockwave, you know.
Yeah.
You must remove the hands before the critical system shutdown sequence can activate. Remember it this way. Before you kill, make certain no cyborg is left with a left hand. Raiden, have I told you of the research I was conducting before we met?
Several times.
It was the Cold War. East Germany.
Не
My
заканчивается.
field was infantry weapon research. It was a magical time. Secret research. Top secret, you know. All for the Soviets, but I was young then. Working, always work. Call it nostalgie, but East Germany wasn't so bad. Nostalgie being German for East nostalgia, of course.
Of course.
Yes, the bureaucracy had its problems. But my colleagues... well... In any case, after you...
Sounds rough.
I've often said I would be a homeless vagrant if myoelectric prosthesis hadn't lent me a hand. Artificial limbs were crude props then, you know. Designed, they were hardly functional. If you lost an arm or leg, you were disabled, and that was that. The key was running actuators based on electromyography signals from the skin's surface, of course. It was then I realized my knowledge of robotics and engineering could... So, I contacted a prosthesis laboratory. Patents filed in my name made quite a bit of money, you know. Soon I was made the head of my own lab.
And that's when you started filling orders from PMs?
Indeed. From contractors who'd been referred by their employer. Workers from your industry quickly became our best customers. But my field was never full body conversions. You can imagine my surprise when Boris contacted me.
Yeah. Our previous cybernetics maintenance guy went into hiding.
But I built on my knowledge and now consider myself an expert on all cyborgs.
Glad I could help with your on-the-job training.
Yes, I should think we have both benefited from our... which reminds me, do not forget our other arrangement.
Got it.
Raiden, are you fully versed in the features of your AR display? It can serve many functions, you know.
Do I hear un lecture coming on?
A lecture? No, of course not. I'm hardly. Of course, I know the first practical application of the technology was for aircraft HUDs, then head-mounted displays, HMDs. The data could be seen even as the viewer moved their head. As the technology improved, it was integrated into retinal imaging, contact lenses. Soon it became standard issue not just for pilots. Of course, with cyborgs such as yourself, the data can be fed...
No lecture, huh? Anyway, there's more to my augmented reality than just upgraded HMD tech.
Of course there is, Dummkopf. You did not let me finish.
Oh, you weren't finished?
AR is a much broader concept. It is more a design concept than a particular... It encompasses HUDs, HMDs, any and all manner of visual... Though recently, some reserve the AR label for virtual objects the subject can both see and touch. For example, your codec menu and zoom slide. Such objects do not exist anywhere in the real world. They are fed directly to your optic nerve, so only you can see them. Yet, when you interact with them, sensory feedback is delivered to the nerves in your fingers. It gives you the sense of touching a thing that does not exist.
Beats lugging around a sat radio and giant scope, that's for sure.
There is another school of thought on precisely what constitutes AR.
Seriously, more of this?
It defines
Нравится,
AR
как он
as anything
порой
that obscures
продолжает
the
просто
boundary between reality
болтать.
and that experienced by the viewer.
Well, how would that be different from VR?
Well, for example, let's say that you and I are having a nice chat face to face. Suddenly, I disappear. Poof! And in my place appears a ravishing, nubile young woman. Is the girl the projected image or the reality? Perhaps I was the AR. How would you know?
The accent might be a clue.
Such things can be controlled with a simple hack of your auditory nerves.
Well, that's comforting. So how is this different from VR again?
Well, it is, I suppose, strictly speaking, it is both a method for completely fooling the senses, rather than, although, technically it would be MR, mixed reality, since there are some real elements involved. In any case, the advance of MR technology leads to many interests. It could make for a great advance in cyber. They could project a perfectly normal human body to be seen by anyone who can perceive MR.
I don't know. Sounds like it might cause more problems than... Hey, Doc. What can you tell me about the carbon nanotubes used in artificial muscles? I know they're the real key behind the proliferation of cyborgs, but...
Well, a carbon nanotube, or CNT, is a sheet of carbon graphite formed like a tube. They range from 50 nanometers in diameter all the way down to under 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer, you recall, is 1/1 billionth of a meter. Quite small. As you've likely seen, the carbon atoms that make up the sheet are organized in a 6-point ring shape. These hexagonal structures are connected to each other along their edges.
Sort of like a soccer ball.
Precisely. Such structures are known as Buckminster fullerene. CNTs were discovered by accident while scientists were researching other fullerenes. CNTs have assorted properties, each with the potential to drive vast leaps in industrial technology. Consider, for example, that the conducting properties and resistance to strong currents far outclass copper. They have great mechanical strength and can be shaped into incredibly thin form factors, all of which can directly contribute to improving integrated circuits. Furthermore, the atomic links in sp2 carbon are the strongest of all types of atoms. Its tensile strength is greater than even diamond. All that, and its weight is only half that of aluminum. It is also quite elastic, making it ideal for bomb-proofing vehicles, buildings, and other structures.
Sounds like some kind of wonder material.
There have been numerous plans drawn up for orbital elevators in the past. The problem being that no material was strong enough to make them practical. CNTs make such dreams one step closer to... You can change their structures by using the right path. They feature a large surface area and an empty space within the tube. It's that particular trait which has enabled the development of fuel cell infused...
Straight out of sci-fi.
Well, truth is stranger than fiction. Scientists are currently expanding upon all of CNTs. Historically, mass manufacture was deemed too difficult, the costs astronomical.
Practical manufacturing methods were established in the early 2010s. But the Patriots hushed that up.
Indeed. And now that it's out in the wild, we are finally well and truly... Remember now, Raiden, left hands.
I got it, Doc. I got it.
Holographic memory. It's very different from standard semiconductor...
Yeah. But it's still solid...
Well, yes, but they are perhaps more different than they are similar. Holographic memory utilizes the same optical interference that holograms rely upon.
Right. That image is used to appear
Traditional media reads and writes bits on a two-dimensional surface in linear fashion. Holographic memory, however, does this in 3 dimensions, using light at different angles.
And that gives you... what?
Speed. It can read over a gigabit of data in a second. And capacity. A 2-inch square cube of lithium niobate crystal can store 4 terabytes of data. It is also highly resilient against data loss caused by damage to any part of its media. For battle data, there is no better type of storage.
Beats having a hard drive clacking away inside your arm anyway.
Indeed. Spinning media. Hard to imagine we ever put up with such nonsense.
So, Doc, what kind of data can you extract from those left hands anyway?
Oh, all manner of information. But the short list? Energy consumption, damage level, intracranial and blood pressure, blood sugar, GPS history, speed and acceleration, recorded computations from the internal expert battle support system.
Doc.
Time-stamped readings of distortion and acceleration gauges whenever the body was impacted. Stress is applied to the CNT muscle fibers in all 4 limbs, as well as any...
All right.
Power consumption rates, remaining battery charge, type and amount of weaponry, codec logs and wavelengths, voice transcripts.
Okay, Doc, okay. Sorry I asked.
As a field of technology, cyborg warfare is still in its infancy, you know. It is my duty as an engineer to collect and analyze as much data as possible for every conceivable situation. The resulting database will help drive future technology.
Makes sense. But why the left hand?
Accessibility. A unit can remove it with its own right hand, or it can be recovered if the unit is damaged. I would advise you not to remove your own holographic storage, however, unless absolutely necessary to facilitate recording of everything you see, hear, and so on. So, each time the storage is connected or disconnected, your hippocampus...
Yeah, I have some experience with that. It's a little more than unpleasant.
Perhaps we could chit-chat later, Raiden. I'd hate to occupy too much of your time.
Неужели закончилось?
Perhaps we could chit-chat later. So, what is your name?
Wolf? You're one of a...
Correct.
What? What's...
Brute. I was
Son? But what's...
as a...
Can't believe Dolzaev blew himself up.
Pretty common terror tactic. You don't usually see the leaders doing it, though. It's one thing to get your flock pumped up on the glory of dying for the cause, but it's not often they actually go through with it themselves.
You gotta have a public face, after all. The guy who gets to claim responsibility on the evening news.
In a weird way, Dolzaev showed some serious dedication. Not that I'm about to praise him for it.
Yeah, still a terrorist. A suicide bomber in the end.
If that's what you want to call him. Still, he kind of failed at it.
How so?
Well, all that explosion did was put a dent in Abkhazia's budget. More Russia's, really. They're the ones rebuilding the refinery. The coup didn't work out. He couldn't overthrow the government. He was barely a blip on Russia's radar.
So, you're saying the bombing didn't accomplish any of his goals? He did it just because he was cornered? Sounds more like just plain suicide.
Yeah. Probably wanted to end things with his own hands. Like a samurai committing harakiri.
Still not something to be commended for, though.
Yeah. Lumping him in with true warriors like the samurai just gives them a bad name.
I hope she didn't get to you. Wanting to protect the weak that's worth striving for.
Don't worry. I've heard more than a few supervillain spiels in my time. Maybe we had some things in common in our past, but not anymore. I bring my beliefs into every battle I fight. You want to call me foolish? Well, that's not gonna change me.
I'm glad to hear that, Raiden.
Yeah, thanks. Riding out.
Say, Raiden, where'd you get that hat you were wearing?
The sombrero? Well, picked it up at a souvenir store here. I guess I just kinda like the design. Also, when you're on a scout mission, it's vital that you use the local attire to blend into the background.
Yeah. I think it looked pretty good on you. You looked like some kind of mariachi singer.
Oh, you think so?
Yep. Only, that's kind of a problem too.
How so?
Well, I mean, that sombrero really is meant to be part of a mariachi costume. Mexicans don't wear hats like that normally.
Come on. The guy at the shop told me I'd look just like a local.
Yeah, a local tourist maybe. Look, you might see a lot of Mexican men wearing sombreros during their daily routines, but, nothing like that. They'd go for something a lot more simple and compact. Something not all that different from cowboy hats in the Old West.
Are you sure?
I don't know if it's true or not, but I have heard one theory about the modern cowboy hat. They say it's based on the sombreros the original Western settlers brought from Mexico. Of course, cowboy hats come in all shapes and sizes, so you can't really say a specific one's the cowboy hat.
Huh. Well, now I know why the locals were so eager to get a look at me.
That wasn't the hat. By the way, Raiden, have you ever eaten nopalitos? They're typically called nopales.
Huh. Oh, like that street vendor was selling. Nope. No pales.
Well, that's too bad. You really ought to try some while you're in the area.
Yeah, but it's from a cactus, right? Doesn't it taste all thin and watery?
Not at all. It's kind of like the flesh of aloe vera leaves, or the seaweed used in Japanese cooking. It's got this really soft but crunchy texture, and it's really versatile. You can eat nopales as is in a salad, saute them, stir-fry them with steak, put them in tacos. You can even toss them in a blender to make some juice.
I had no idea.
Tell me about it. I got hooked after Boris took me to this one Mexican restaurant. After that, I just had to learn more about them. Ooh, for example, they're really low in calories. They also have lots of soluble and insoluble fiber, which not only promotes digestion, but is great for maintaining healthy cholesterol and blood pressure levels. It's even thought to help prevent intestinal cancer. It's packed with healthy stuff too, like vitamins B and C, potassium, and iron.
Okay, I get it. It's good for you. So how does it taste?
Huh? I just told you.
Never mind. Probably can't capture any food down here anyway. Not that I'd need to. My muscles run on fuel cells, and I've got enough blood sugar to keep my brain running for another week.
Well, you can still eat though, right?
Yep,
how about we all go out for Mexican once you're done? Food's a lot more than just an energy supply, you know? It's meant to be enjoyed.
With that, I agree.
Raiden, what you said before about your sword being a tool of justice, I just want to say I agree 100%. I wish all PMCs thought that way.
Glad to hear you say that.
You mentioned it was part of some samurai code?
Yeah. I didn't grow up using a sword. I fell into it by chance, during a mission. After that, I decided to train with the HF blade. I studied a lot of samurai techniques. I really got into it. Started learning more and more about ancient Japan and the samurai code. I tore through stacks of books, movies, anything I could get my hands on.
Somehow hard to imagine you settling in with a big bucket of popcorn.
What? A cyborg can't have hobbies? I'll have you know I'm actually a huge movie buff.
Okay, okay. So that's where you picked up this Sword of Justice creed?
Yeah. Most of it from a single master named Munenori Yagyu. He founded a school of swordsmanship on the idea that violence can be necessary for the greater good. He called it Katsujinken, the life-giving sword. Yagyu believed power isn't evil in itself. It's how it's applied that matters. As time went on, Katsujinken incorporated deterrence. It took on the meaning of winning without fighting. Or as I like to say, one sword keeps another in the sheath. That's from George Herbert. He was an English priest, 17th century, almost the same era as Yagyu.
Huh. It's a universal idea, I guess.
You could frame the same message as use of a necessary evil, but I think it's a good mindset for any PMC.
At least as long as there's fighting that requires us in the first place.
Which doesn't seem likely to change anytime soon.
You know, I have to hand it to you guys. Cyborgs are just amazing to me. So much power and speed.
It's not all gravy.
No? How so?
Well, things have improved a lot in the past few years. But back when I was modded for the first time, keeping artificial blood free of impurities was a huge hassle. Artificial muscles need a constant flow of oxygen from a blood source, just like the real thing. But it was a challenge getting the kidney units as small as they needed to be. We all had to undergo routine dialysis.
Sounds rough.
Used to be even worse back when Dr. Clark was still experimenting. Bad nerve connections would screw with the test subject's pain receptors. It was torture. Compared to that, I had it pretty easy.
It wasn't until recently that you could eat and drink like normal people, right?
That's right. We generally use glucose-based nutrient packs to keep the brain running. But we can absorb nutrients orally now, too. Whatever we eat's broken down by nanomachines, and we have taste sensors as well. It's not exactly like it was before. The difference is, I can turn those sensors off if I don't need them. That's been surprisingly useful.
So cyborgs can live pretty much normal lives now?
Well, getting there. We still need fuel cells and nutrition packs, not to mention regular maintenance. It's a lot of dough. Of course, another big problem's how other people look at you.
How do you mean?
There was a time when I wore artificial skin. Tried to look as close to normal as possible. I've still got some now, on my face. The tech at the time wasn't great. You still looked pretty unnatural. Maybe you could fool someone from far away, but up close, even a baby could tell I wasn't human. Going out shopping or whatever, you could feel all those eyes on you. I tried to find something to do other than fight, but looking like I did got me 2 strikes pretty much as soon as I walked through the door.
That sounds terrible.
Well, you appreciated it when people were honest about it at least. But when they were too polite to just say so, that was rough. Things are getting better these days, though. Artificial skin's improved a lot. And you don't get so many stares now that the general public knows about cyborgs.
Maybe I should look into the cyborg thing, huh? I could eat whatever I want, whenever I want.
Probably cheaper just getting lipo, Courtney.
Jerk.
Courtney, there's something I'd like your opinion on.
What's up?
It's how I replenish my electrolytes. I'm basically feeding off these cyborgs.
Oh, yeah. That. I don't really see any better options, to be honest. I doubt your old body would have stood up against the Desperado Captains or Jetstream Sam. And if we fail here, it's not only bad for us, but for our clients and all of Sakumi.
Yeah, you're right.
Besides, it's like you say, no one's forcing them to be here. They chose to throw in with the terrorists.
Yeah.
Look, I won't lie. I don't feel great about it. But in the scheme of things, yes, I think it's justified.
Thanks. I guess it's never black and white in this business, is it?
No. No, it's not. Do you and Kevin work a lot together, Raiden?
Well, Maverick's not that big. Unless you're a short-term contractor, you tend to work with the same guys.
Не, ну таким
Last job we were on
путем
together,
мы точно
I
не
was hired
дойдем
by
до
the
того чела.
Carabinieri to track down 3 Albanian mafiosos. They'd fled Italy for Montenegro, and I had to bring them back. It wasn't easy. All 3 of them
Да,
had
он уже почти
cybernetic
половину
upgrades.
на этот
Without Kev,
момент
I could have been in
прослушал.
serious trouble.
He was with an NGO before Maverick, I think, handling disarmament work for the UN.
Yeah. He and Boris met while working together to resolve a conflict in Africa. They hit it off. So when Boris gave him a job opportunity, he took it.
I kind of wonder why. We're pretty much the opposite of a disarmament outfit.
3 things are needed after a conflict: disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration into society. That's the way it usually goes. I guess Kevin felt like the process was getting to be a joke. Even if the UN taps the group that caused the conflict for post-war cleanup, there's no way of ensuring their sincere cooperation. There's always the chance they'll underreport the number of soldiers they've got on hand.
That, or they only disarm the useless parts of their force. The ones with outdated weapons and gear.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they can hide their standing force, the one with all the up-to-date weaponry, from the UN. Afghanistan saw a lot of that, since the wars were all waged by rival military cliques. Anyway, Kev saw that happening on a daily basis in Africa. Guess he just wanted a job where he had a firmer grasp on what was going on. And then along comes Boris. Kev had to think it over for a while, sure. But, well, here we all are.
PMCs are going to need more people like him. And me too, I guess. You know, civilian viewpoints.
Couldn't agree more.
Raiden, can I ask you something?
Sure. What is it?
Just wondering, why'd you join Maverick in the first place?
Well, Boris and I go way back. Our first time working together was rescuing Sunny. That's Colonel Gerlukovich's granddaughter. He and Boris were good friends back in the USSR.
Right. The Patriots were holding her?
Yeah. I was mainly working with the PLA, but Boris was a huge help. His Russian military connections paid off big time. All his covert op experience, too. He wasn't working pro bono, of course, but he went above and beyond the call. The Patriots were a threat to everyone, not just America. He got that.
And when Paradise Lost disbanded, he formed a new outfit and got them all work.
Most of them, anyway, including me.
Did you ever consider another line of work? Something non-military, I mean?
I'm a cyborg, Courtney. What am I gonna do? Drive an ice cream truck? I can pass as normal from a distance, but up close, anyone can tell it's artificial skin. Good jobs aren't easy to come by these days, even for non-cyborgs, and I've got a family to feed. Besides, I've been fighting my whole life. It's just who I am.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
It's fine, Courtney. No worries. So, Courtney, you've heard my story. What about you? How'd you end up at Maverick?
Me? Well, it's funny. I was a business major, actually. Thought I'd go for an MBA. When I was in school, there was a lot of talk about the widening gap between rich and poor. I figured I'd join the 1% and never have to worry about money again. Pretty noble, huh? Anyway, around then you started hearing all about this war economy stuff on the news. I was, I don't know, disgusted, I guess? Disillusioned, for sure.
And that changed your mind?
It wasn't just the war stuff that bothered me. It's everything it represented. How so much of what the First World enjoys comes at the expense of Third World people. The more I researched, the more I realized how bad things are. Underreported, too. After that, money wasn't such a priority anymore. I know how trite that sounds, but it's true. I wasn't naive, though. I knew living in some hippie commune or going Amish wouldn't change anything. So I started looking for a career where I felt I might actually have an impact.
You didn't worry about working at a PMC? Becoming part of the problem?
Well, I wasn't going to sign up with just anybody. But not all PMCs are bad, you know? Some of them, sure. They'll do anything for a buck, no questions asked. That's why someone has to stand up to them. Protect the innocent from those guys.
That's us in a nutshell. So you did your homework and found Maverick.
Honestly, it was more dumb luck than anything else. I had a friend who knew I was interested in this kind of work who was also friends with Kevin. They introduced us, we set up a meeting, and here I am.
That's right. I always forget you and Kev went to the same school. Huh. Definitely not your typical path to joining a PMC, that's for sure.
I really am here to fix the world. I know it's a cliche, but there it is.
Well, I for one am glad to hear it. So how's it been since you joined Maverick, Courtney? About what you expected?
Not even close. I had no idea what I was signing up for. You deal in a lot of expensive weapons and equipment that can save people's lives. But at the same time, you can't just ignore the bottom line. You catch yourself measuring lives in dollars and cents.
Yeah. The business side can get pretty messy.
Messy is right. But I won't just ignore it. I can't make informed decisions without confronting the ugly realities.
Not an easy burden to bear, Courtney.
Well, if it ever gets to be too much, I'll reconsider. But for now, I'm fine. I can handle it. What's up? No? Did you need anything else?
No, guess not. Just wanted to hear the sound of your voice.
Oh, save it for your wife, Raiden. What's up? No? Did you need anything else?
No, guess not. Just wanted to hear the sound of your voice.
Oh.
Miss Trall mentioned someone from her past. Any idea who that could have been?
None. I checked her file again, couldn't find a thing.
Алло?
Definitely
Алло.
not Dolzaev. Probably
Здорово.
not Sundowner either.
Just
No.
Что тут делаете?
The way she put it.
Прости, мы тут очень заняты.
Maybe someone involved in
еще
this, right?
55
Зашли
видео.
в слэшер и слушаем диалоги.
Maybe they share the same philosophy.
That'd be bad. People willing to die for their leaders.
Я
aren't
уже
so
почти
easy to predict.
закончил.
Yeah, but other
Половину
than the
где-то
wins,
просто.
Desperado cyborgs are all just hired contractors. They're probably emotion suppressed with nanos or drugs or whatever, but that's about it.
You're probably right. You know, I've never really
О,
developed a
господи,
taste
Metal
for
Gear
climbing
Rising.
through sewers. And Guadalajaras aren't exactly wowing me either. This place isn't gonna go up in flames, right? I think I saw something about that in the briefing.
You're talking about 1992? What a mess. Over 200 people killed. That was almost a half-century ago, though. You smell anything off? Before the explosions, residents complained they smelled gas from the sewers.
I'm in a sewer, Kev.
You're
You think
not
I've got my smell
greedy.
receptors
You're
on?
batshit
Local air analysis
insane.
doesn't show anything potentially poisonous or explosive, though.
Well, you ought to be fine then. Besides, little gas explosion's probably not going to kill someone like you.
Well, that's very encouraging. Seriously, though, Guadalajara is not a bad place, at least from what I've seen.
Oh, it's not. Second largest city in Mexico, after all. I've actually spent a lot of time down there. It's got a lot of charm. The architecture is a fusion of Latin and old colonial Spanish culture. The city's historic district is home to a massive cathedral overlooking the whole town. It's always bustling. It's a lot of fun just kicking back and watching the locals. Walking around the Libertad, taking in the sun with a cerveza in one hand, mariachi band nearby. No better way to spend a weekend, let me tell you.
If this PMC thing doesn't work out, you'd make one hell of a tour guide. Meanwhile, I'm down in this dark, filthy, humid, cramped sewer.
Also, if you ask me, the girls over there are the hottest in all of Mexico. You wouldn't believe some of the chicas I've chatted up. On the street, in the shopping malls, at the bars.
Sounds like better company than a robo-wolf and a bunch of plague-ridden mice.
Well, hang in there. I'll buy you a shot of tequila after we wrap this up. The city of tequila's not far, actually. That's where it originated.
I'll take you up on that. Now let's get this over with. Hey, Kev, let me ask you something.
What's up? We've been over pretty much all the...
No. Those girls in Guadalajara, you never told me what happened.
Jeez, man, we're in the middle of a mission here.
Что
They
происходит?
used you for free drinks and then took off, I take it, huh?
Почему у меня League of Legends на русском?
They weren't really my type. I'm more of a...
Уже
an
четвертый раз,
intellectual, you know?
по-моему,
I'll
удивляюсь,
go for
когда
just
тебя
any
ошибка
random
на
girl at a
русском
bar.
вылетает.
Looks are one thing, but I need someone I can...
Да нет, я просто лаунчер на русском, на русский перевелся, и у меня он новый ивент на русском запустился.
You're in your 30s now. It's time to stop holding out for Lil
О,
Miss
У меня
Perfect.
уже
You just need to find
просто
someone nice.
флешбеки вместо того, как ты это мне уже говорил, когда я на стриме сидел.
Да нет, тогда ошибка была у меня.
But having kids will change your life. I can't see him all the time.
Или я на другом аккаунте был.
Whenever I'm back home, he's always so excited to see me. When I see that, I feel like, you know, I want to do whatever I can to keep him happy.
Sure, I hear you. But look, man, I was just having some fun in Mexico. Wasn't seriously searching for a wife or anything.
I know, but separate from that, I just think you've gotten too damn picky. I can understand trying to find the ideal woman when you're young.
А, не, трейлер.
It's those little imperfections, those idiosyncrasies that keep things interesting in the long run. You come to appreciate that kind of stuff in a lifetime relationship.
Idiosyncrasies, huh? Like if she snores or she talks loud during movies?
Well, not if she talks during movies. A man's gotta have some standards.
Sounds like Imani was a pretty great leader. Such a goddamn waste.
I've run cover for a lot of VIPs, but men like him are a rare breed. He had all these conflicting factors to deal with. Old tribal tensions, business interests, the military. But Imani got them all working together in a stable government, and all without firing a shot.
The savior of a nation. No wonder they called him that.
He had a gift, for sure. But he also put in the hard work. He was big on equality and justice in every aspect of government. He fought for it day in, day out. Imani single-handedly energized his people. He's a big part of why the country recovered so quickly.
True. It was more than new buildings and jobs. The people had hope again.
If only we had someone like him back in Liberia. Things would have been different, that's for sure. And it was my job to protect him.
Raiden, come on.
Imani wouldn't want me to go after Desperado.
Сегодня зашел в League of Legends, тоже посмотреть трейлер.
But he would want them stopped. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Больно.
Съели.
Raiden,
Ну, сейчас
that
начнется
saying you like
именно
about your sword being a tool of justice?
Yeah, it's why I fight. Sometimes taking a life saves others.
A life, or
Мне русская
two,
озвучка так не
or
нравится.
3, or 40 in your case, but I know what you mean. Besides, it's not like those cyborgs you're fighting have been brain-jacked.
Wouldn't be much point in sending jacked cyborgs.
True.
Опа.
Having
А имена
someone pilot a
персонажей
body
на английском,
remotely
интересно.
only really makes financial sense for espionage missions. And you might as well use UGs if you're gonna let an AI control your soldiers. So yeah, they're probably using emotional restraint.
Blind Pig,
but those
Самуэль
cyborgs are
Фрик.
fighting of their own free will.
Драфт. Blind Pig. И при этом половина... У меня половина лаунчера на русском, половина на английском. Помогите.
What about what
Курсит.
Sam said? About your ideals holding you back?
Ah, bullshit. He's good, but now I know how he moves, how he thinks, and I've got my new body. My philosophy says when and why to fight, not how. It won't keep me from beating Sam. And next time we meet, I will beat him. I'll kill him, and I'll do it to save others from suffering, with my ideals intact.
All right, Raiden.
Hey, Kev, that piece of shit who killed Imani, is he one of those almighty winds?
Yeah. Goes by Sundowner. It's a folk name for this warm air current in Southern California. He's also, well, not the formal head of Desperado, but pretty much their de facto leader. Let's see. Born in Alabama, family was poor. Solid student, decent grades. But
А,
no
они,
money for
кстати,
college,
убрали
so he joined
арену
the
уже,
army.
ничего себе.
Says he fought in Panama in 89,
Всё,
then
наигрался.
Iraq again,
Чисто
Afghanistan.
зашел,
In
посмотрел трейлер.
2008, he drops out of the service and starts doing merc work for various PMCs.
Там вон у
He was
Ярика
active all through
интереснее.
the SOP years. Built up quite a reputation. Apparently, the Sundowner handle comes from all the blood he leaves behind. Looks like the sunset. Anyway, An IED put him out of action for a few years. But then, cyborg tech brought him out of retirement. The Army investigated him for possible war crimes. A few times, looks like. Desecrating remains, torturing POWs, some wrongful deaths. No convictions, though.
Pretty rosy past, huh? Not that I'm one to talk.
Hey, come on, buddy. You know that's not fair. You were just a kid. You didn't know what you were doing. And it's not like they gave you a choice.
Yeah. Thanks, Kev. Kev, you dig up anything more on Jetstream Sam?
Yeah, actually a bit. Still a lot of missing pieces.
I'll take what I can.
Right. Full name, Samuel Rodriguez. Born in Brazil, so I guess that'd be more like Samuel Rodriguez. He's actually not one of the Winds of Destruction. He's not even a Desperado employee.
Yeah. Didn't seem like your typical PMC to me.
His father ran a Brazilian Kenjutsu dojo.
Kenjutsu? That's a school of Japanese swordplay.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Japanese immigrated to Brazil way back when. They brought martial arts with them. Those evolved and became their own offshoots. You've heard of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? It's their variation on Judo. Brazilian Kenjutsu's the same kind of thing. A different evolution of the old samurai sword skills. Bit of capoeira and some other stuff mixed in. Anyway, I did some digging. Apparently, the Rodriguez dojo was a big proponent of the Uridachi style.
Uridachi, a.k.a. Setsujinken, the murdering sword. Basically the polar opposite of my sword of justice.
Rodriguez Kenjutsu uses kicks, sword butts, even throws. Unpredictable and very deadly. Anyway, this is interesting. Sam's father was killed by one of his pupils. There were rumors one of the cartels was involved, but it's not clear how or why. After that, Sam disappears for a while, then comes back, kills the guy who killed his dad, and leaves Brazil. He travels the world for a while, taking odd jobs, bodyguard, cleaner for the mob, etc., etc. Made a big name for himself in the criminal underworld, especially in Central and South America. One story has Sam taking out a mafia hit squad, 10 men, all with assault rifles, using only his sword.
Not unheard of for a cyborg.
This was back in the early 2000s.
Come on. He did that without enhancements? And pre-SOP?
That's the story anyway. And he's a cyborg now, so he could only be stronger. Not to freak you out or anything.
I told you, Kev. I got a reading on his fighting style from last time. And my body's been upgraded. I'll be fine.
Yeah. No. I know you will be.
Видел ее обилки, кстати, растянуть?
Hey, Kev. You have anything on that sword
Right.
Sam was using? Didn't seem like your garden variety high-frequency blade.
It's not. It's a samurai sword. The real deal.
У нее там, короче, 2 дэша
make, handed down in his family
на
ever since.
2 разных кнопках.
Sam had it recast as a high-frequency
Это
blade.
подкидывание по
Say by
области.
who?
И W, который я так и не понял, что делать.
Maybe.
Вроде он ее в рейдж хоть вводит, и она может бить.
The harder the metal, the better it cuts.
Забавный, блядь, персонаж, типичный райты. У нее там один дэш, это чисто W пантеона со станом, таким же абсолютно. И еще один дэш на ультимейте, через полкарты. Она там, короче, может от барона до дракона по РНЖ докинуть свой ульти, она, если попадет кого-то, как его полетит.
And razor sharp.
And that gets multiplied when the sword gets the HF treatment?
Чисто такая доставка. Можно с базы на дракона кинуть и...
Upgrade sets the blade vibrating
Пиздец.
really fast, right? That vibration acts on the electron shells of atoms in the sword and the local electromagnetic field. When the EMF achieves resonance, the blade's bonding is strengthened. At a quantum level, it's like the entire sword is made up of the exact same particle type. It also disrupts any atoms it comes into contact with. Say, those that make up the target. Their electron clouds shrink from exposure to quantum decoherence at the Planck scale. In other words, it electrically severs the bonds that keep the target's atoms together.
You lost me around the EMF part.
And that's the dumbed down explanation. To be honest,
Пешка
even
прикольная.
I don't understand all the details.
Пинаться по
Point is,
АОЕ.
an HF upgrade is
Ну,
like an amplifier.
подкид чисто.
It multiplies what's already there.
Подъясва.
So Sam's badass blade might give him the edge. I mean, you know what I mean.
The original sword was really that good?
Sounds like it. Says here it's a Murasama blade.
Murasama. Sounds familiar.
One of the top 10 best-known sword makers worldwide, easy. In Japan, he is legendary. They say his swords thirst for blood, that they choose who will wield them, you know, that sort of thing.
Ooh, now I really am scared.
I know, right?
Where the hell did Desperado get all these cyborgs anyway, Kev?
Hard to say. They're not as rare as they once were, but still. Of all registered PMC troops, we're still talking, what, 3% have enhancements? Maybe 5% tops. Mostly career military who got hurt on the battlefield one way or another. Getting their arms or legs back lets them keep earning a living. But most able-bodied soldiers are still reluctant to sacrifice their own healthy body parts. Plus, the surgery is highly specialized. Expensive as hell. Not to mention maintenance costs after that. Unless insurance is footing the bill, most guys couldn't afford enhancements even if they wanted to.
Maverick's got some cyborgs. What's their story? They all wounded in action?
Mostly. I heard a few saved up and paid for it themselves, but just a few. There is this one crazy blonde guy, though. I heard he asked for a full body conversion.
The Patriots didn't leave me much of a body to begin with. I just had Herr Doctor finish what they started.
You know I'm just giving you shit, man. Anyway, yeah. Looking at the numbers, cyborg soldiers are still a pretty small minority. Not really surprising when only contractors in developed countries are offered insurance. Third world soldiers get hurt out on the field, and that's all she wrote. They can't work as a merc anymore. Most times, they can't really work at all.
Well, Desperado's up to something, because cyborgs are definitely not in the minority here.
I've heard of some PMCs covering the cost of the surgery for their disabled. The mercs get their career back, sure, but the PMCs aren't exactly running a charity. These guys have to work to pay it off until the company at least breaks even on them. Any cyborg breaks his contract early would probably be in debt for the rest of his life.
You think that's Desperado's MO?
I can't prove it, but sure as hell wouldn't surprise me.
So what kind of deal does Maverick offer its contractors?
Oh yeah, I forgot you're full-time too. You never contracted with us?
Nope. Boris invited me on board the first time we talked about it. We've known each other since Area 51. Didn't have any reason to turn him down, so yeah. Never really considered the contract route.
Right. Well, it's actually pretty rare for guys on the ground like you to be full-timers. Most of Maverick soldiers are contractors, just like with any other PMC. It just makes sense. After all, it's never the same job twice in this business. Each mission has its own requirements. Force size, skill set, all that crap. So generally, we contract out on a per-mission basis, or a fixed schedule for longer jobs. A lot of US companies are doing it that way lately, not just PMCs. Besides, a good contractor can earn more than most regular full-time employees. Definitely a hell of a lot more than regular military.
And if they want to quit, can they get out of their contract?
Yep. Of course, just up and quitting right in the middle of a mission would cause problems. Just like any other job, you know? We'd want some notice to settle on a new end date, but hold up. You're not thinking of leaving us, are you?
Just curious. You still busy with all that other work, Kev?
You know me, man. Kev of all trades. I got a lot on my plate. Briefing prep, arms procurement, client negotiation, HR, biz dev, accounting, you name it. Lately, though, I've been focusing more on sales and on-site coordination. Oh, and advisor work like this.
Never sleep, do you?
Things have been better since Courtney joined up, at least.
Miss Trawl mentioned someone from her past. Any idea who that could have been?
None. I checked her file again, couldn't find a definitely not Dolzaev.
No. The way she put it, it didn't. Maybe someone involved in...
If so...
That'd be bad.
Yeah, but they're probably...
Miss Trawl mentioned any idea...
No,
No, maybe...
If...
That'd...
Yeah, they're probably...
You're...
Correct.
Why?
What's brute I am? I would
Ой,
son
минус
what's
1,
unfathom.
let's go.
The heck?
What's up? Okay, save complete. Don't let your guard down.
How are things back in Abkhazia?
Thanks to the full efforts of the workers, power was restored in just 2 days.
Pretty impressive.
Only the power plant is back online, though. Refinery itself will likely be out of service for months. Fuel sent from Supsa is being used to power the plant for now.
Just wish I could have stopped him.
Impossible without a sniper. And in our focus on anti-cyborg combat, we were unprepared. Thankfully, other than financial losses, few Abkhaz citizens were seriously affected. The plant workers had already been evacuated, and most were hired back on to rebuild the refinery. We received payment and are not being blamed for the suicide blast.
Good to hear. It should go a long way to help fix our reputation.
Duh. And even more good news. Desperado is down one of its top captains.
Let's hope they learned a lesson.
We can hope, but it is doubtful. We still do not know who is supporting them. Even if we shut Desperado down entirely, their backers could simply hire some other PMC.
Whoever it is, you really think they're interested in the pipeline? Who'd benefit besides the Georgians?
Hard to say. Whatever the plan was, it went up in flames with Dulcayev's suicide. The problem is that there are countless companies and governments profiting off the BTC pipeline. Whoever is behind it, they may be too big for a simple security firm like us to do anything.
Yeah, one thing we do know, though, is that Sundowner's more than just a pawn in all of this. We need to watch him. Trafficking or not, we need to stop their operation here.
Find the evidence, and perhaps we can do that. And Tovarich, be careful.
Have you ever worked with this client of ours before?
Duh. Several active human rights groups engage in non-violent interventions like this one. Typically, they hire firms like ours to provide security and backup. Most serious human rights abuses take place in unstable regions, after all. Legitimate human rights groups, not fakes set up by oil firm or such things, they cannot handle it.
Yeah. It's different for private groups working in hostile regions. Especially when some of that hostility comes from the local authorities.
Indeed. NGOs and security firms play a greater role in peacekeeping, too. You know, DDR business. Disarmament, demobilization, reintegration. Like the UN runs it. Usually, carrying weapons is not permitted for the group involved, for obvious reasons.
So outfits like ours run guard duty. If the locals don't like armed peacekeepers, then they pretend to be
Duh. It's beneficial for the client if the locals are... It's very different from usual. More direct, so we've built a good reputation for this kind of work.
How are things back in Abkhaz?
Thanks to the full efforts of the workers, power was...
Pretty impressive.
Only the power plant is back online, though. Refinery fuel sent from Supsa is being used to power the plant.
Всё, всех зашло, что ли?
Impossible. And then our thanks, the plant we...
Let's...
We can even...
Whoever...
The problem... Whoever...
Yeah, we need...
Fine and...
What's up?
Все, игра пройдена.
Okay, don't let...
Все, вырубай.
Я устал, это пиздец, на лекцию сходил. Особенно когда
Я не понимаю, зачем ты вообще это. Там у доктора полчаса реплик.
Просто вообще про все рассказал, про каждую часть, блядь. Ну-ка, сколько там стрима ушло на компе? Блядь, на
час?
компе? Час? Нормально, нормально.
Ровно час, буквально.
Ух. Понимаю.
Из 2 часов, ну ладно, 3.
Нормально, зато нашли реплику про торчер порн.
Ты проскипал, там просто Zero to 100 произошел.
Там сначала объясняют тебе, ну, бу-бу-бу, эти клетки. Он такой, а что там насчет порны?
Популярно в Германии,
в России, Японии, везде, блядь, повсюду. Да.
Ну вот чем Коджима занимался все это время.
Он не продюсировал, он вот писал, он сценаристом был, вот он, блядь, сидел, писал, выписывал.
Прописал там, как работают эти вот новые SSD.
Ну там, смотри, короче, 1 нанометр трубка, да? Потом 10, потом, кстати, нанометр...
Записывает в 3 измерениях.
Ну... Считывает тоже очень быстро, потому что читает в 3 измерениях. Ах. Ух. Я считаю, что спасибо за просмотр.